Sumit, what's your perspective on this discussion? As in, from whatever you have experienced in India, working with diverse telecom organizations.
So I think what you said about having the skills to do it in-house and having that confidence, the CIO and his team having the confidence that they will be able to pull it off is probably the primary decision that we have to make. Can I do it myself? And if you can, you need to be fully committed to it and take it all the way to the end. I think that confidence comes when you have the right resources, and the right resources are slightly different from the resources that are just coming up and getting skilled. So there are three types of skills that happens. One that gets you into the workforce, the basic skill required to get you into the workforce. Then you've got the skill to just be in the workforce, just to keep yourself updated, and that the spin that you need to have to keep yourself updated. And the last and the most important, the one that we will require to take that leap, is the skill to excel. The skill to excel, the skill to innovate, that we are not teaching well so far. The skill to step back and look at the problem from above and saying, what technology should I use? What structure should I use? Instead of saying somebody has told me to do it and I'm going to do it. That is the middle level people. The first one doesn't know anything. They are just getting into the workforce. All three are required. At the end of the day, we will need all three. But we need to start teaching people at all levels how to excel, how to think beyond what is being said, how to look at the bigger picture, how to do good software design, not just programming but design. And I think that innovation is there, except we have not been using it inside the user community, or what I would call the CIO community, the CIO teams, the IT teams of various companies. It is happening in proper software development houses. And that is what we are lacking today, the skill to design, the skill to think beyond, and to innovate on the platform.
Most of the business organization will have some dependency on vendors. You just can't avoid it. Because having all the skills in-house, it really requires a lot of magnet power to attract talent in organizations, particularly user organizations. Somebody joining a technical company and somebody joining a business user organization, they're two different things. That's one. Second aspect is that retaining this talent is also another problem. I mean, how will you all the time do that? And third is this support is extremely important for all of it. So therefore, put together, generally people will say, okay, this is a reliable vendor, I'll go with it, and all said and done, there is a merit in doing that. Now the vendor community will also work for their own interest. Let me put it as a large business organization, not a business, but IT organization, you will kind of choose them as a vendor basis whatever parameters you have, and they will have certain interest, and whether they are also pursuing open source technology as a way to educate their customers and build software for them. Not everybody builds software for themselves. Somebody will give business specification and use development companies to build that software. Not everybody will have developer for themselves, because most of the time business organization will be in the run the bank, because their operations thing themselves will consume a lot of IT resources, sysadmin, DBA, blah, blah, blah. But development of newer architecture, newer technology, there will be dependence on vendors.
If we have to, as India, have a competitive edge, are we having the right tools, with the right brains, with the right skills being imparted to them to work in that area?
I think today, if I look at the overall world of open source, we are making double-digit contribution in terms of percentage. Our population below 25 is double the population of US. Now, if we focus our things there, and if we choose the right people to come in and do think the right way, be rebellious in their thinking and not think in a clerical way of executing their education, but in a collaborative way. We don't teach collaboration to our kids. We don't teach logic to our kids.
Correct.
We don't teach, challenging to our kids. I think those are the mindset changes more needed than skills.
That is exactly about teaching the people how to think, how to collaborate, how to network, how to learn how to learn. And I think that is very important that we teach these right from high school, even below, all the way up to college. Essentially that same thing, that you spend a lot more time doing this than saying how to write a C++ program, or how to do some what. I think you started talking about the whys and the hows. I think we stopped teaching people the whys and the hows. Why do you do whatever you do? And I think if once we start teaching the whys, we will get better people who are thinking about the problem above the problem. Yeah.
My sense is as follows. Is a business organization which has to ultimately serve the customers which are, I will take about my industry, which is regulated also, has to do several things, global changes are coming, so on and so forth. What matters to me is the service support that I will get from whatever technology it is. If there is an SLA, if there is a problem reported, do I have a bug fix for that, or do I have anything? Do I have to rely on some community to give me support? If there is a vulnerability detected, am I getting the... So those are the things that has to come, not only in specific areas, it has to be across all the technologies that we use. And the support part with the SLA is something I'm not too sure how far and how deep it goes into this area. While it is very nice, innovation, etc., but at the end of the day, business has to be run.
Yeah. Regarding SLA and so on, that's an ideal opportunity for entrepreneurs. We need many more open source based entrepreneurs. And if Red Hat says that it will give support for 10 years, then obviously there is an SLA and there is money to be made. And I believe that that is one thing that we have not really embarked on, generating entrepreneurs. I would also want to respond to Mr. Sandeepan's comment about programmer versus software engineers. So if we make our curriculum problem solving, that is the answer. Automatically, there will be enough. Or if you have a lot of good programmers, 10% of them will be good software engineers.
So Red Hat plays an important role in this. How is it connected to what we discussed in terms of your...
Well, I think I've been amazed at the number of customers that I've talked to where I've wanted to frankly go in and talk about Red Hat's portfolio, and they just want to talk about culture. I think the point around the importance of mindset within development is critical. And in fact, if you actually look at a lot of the Web 2.0 companies, I talked about, user-driven and they solve their own problems. Almost all of them have stated policies around open source. And at least the way they're stated, they're less about their own, we get functionality as much as we want our developers involved in open source projects because it helps build the developers' skills, it helps, pushes them in new ways, it allows them to build their own reputation more broadly. So part of what open source does, and part of, frankly, what I think a lot of people want a relationship with Red Hat, isn't directly around the software, but it's more the tap into how collaboration happens. And back to very much the issues that we've been talking about here is it's easy for people internally to get focused on this is my area, this is what I do, I want to learn new things. Driving a little bit of open source or want people to participate, kind of forces people out of their comfort zone a little more.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.